All right, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in this world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of Alexandra Mayers Live, page by page reading and commentary of the modern English version of the Bible. So today we're going to continue with the first book of Samuel. We're going into chapter 21, which is going to cover David at Nob and David flees to Gath. So, David of the timeless tale David and Goliath, which is a real story, he's on the move, he's on the run. He's had to deal with this king who's jealous of him. The king's son had to betray his father in order to protect David. David was basically a rock star of his time because he slayed the giant Philistine Goliath. David's going through stuff. He's going through the negatives of being famous, actually, because he was very famous in his time. And, I'm sure there were a lot of benefits to having all the clout that he received, but look at all the jealousy he attracted. And that's what celebrities today contend with, even if you're a minor celebrity. As many people who love you, there's as many people who hate you and who want to destroy you. And that's a bit of what we see within this story of David. So, good morning, J Dog. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good morning. I definitely am. I already got a lot of things done, and I even did a live stream on my other project, but it was audio only, it wasn't video. But I did that this morning. So, after I'm done with this, I'm just going to work all day. I only have one errand that I need to run today, so that's cool. And I'm just feeling pretty good. I've been sleeping a little bit better than I had a few weeks ago. And I've been making some other changes in my life also. Just minor changes, but I see the difference. So onward and upward. So let's get moving with this. All right, here we go. David at Nob, first book of Samuel, chapter 21. Then David came to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest, and Ahimelech trembled coming to meet David and said to him, "Why are you here alone, and no man is with you?" And David said to Ahimelech the priest, "The king commanded me a matter and said to me, 'Let no man know anything of the business which I am sending you, and what I have commanded you. But to the young men I made known a certain place to meet. Now therefore, what is in your hand? Give me 5 loaves of your bread in my hand, or whatever can be found.'" The priest answered David and said, "There is no common bread at hand, but there is holy bread, if the young men have indeed been kept from women." So the young men can only have the holy bread if they've abstained. Thank you, J Dog, for noticing that. Thank you. I feel like considering a few things, maybe spiritually I'm being prepared for something. So I'm just moving forward, but thank you for your acknowledgement. I appreciate that. All right, so let's continue. So the men have to be kept from women in order to eat. David answered the priest and said to him, "Indeed, women have been kept from us, as previously, when I went out the vessels of the young men were holy, even if it was an ordinary journey. How much more than today will their vessel be holy? So the priest gave him holy bread, for there was no bread there but the show bread that was removed from before the Lord, in order to place hot bread there on the day when it was taken away. All right, so the priest figured, all right, they're on a journey that aligns with my morals and my standards. They're not trying to, you know, do things that they shouldn't be doing. In this case, women were the gauge. That's interesting. Okay. Now, a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord, and his name was Doeg, the Edomite, chief of the shepherds of Saul. David said to Ahimelech, "Is there not a spear or a sword here at hand? For neither my sword nor my weapons did I bring with me, because the king's business was urgent." The priest said, "The sword of Goliath, the Philistine, whom you struck down in the valley of Elah, behold, it is there, wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. If you will take that, take it, for there is none here except that one." And David said, "There is none like it. Give it to me." Wow. Well, that's a power move that David made there, and that the priest was happy to oblige. I mean, that's a very interesting coming full circle for David at this point of his life, because he does have people within the land protecting him from the jealous king. Um, he's had to basically be on the run and find people who are supportive of him. This priest obviously wants to help him, but isn't that interesting that the enemy that he slayed years ago now at this point in his life with a slingshot left behind the weapon that he was going to have to use at this point. That's interesting. If he hadn't killed Goliath, he wouldn't have the sword that he's going to have to use now. So that's cool. So now David is going to flee. He has to flee to Gath. David arose and fled that day from Saul, and he went to Achish, the king of Gath. The servants of Achish said to him, "Is this not David, the king of the land? Did they not sing with dances for him, saying, 'Saul has slain his thousands, and David has 10,000s?'" Or David his 10,000s. Let me reread that. "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s." And David took these words to heart and greatly feared Achish, the king of Gath. Therefore he changed his behavior before them and pretended to be insane in their hands. And he scratched on the doors of the gate and let his spittle run down his beard. Then said Achish to his servants, "Behold, you see the man is acting like a madman. Why then have you brought him to me? Am I one who lacks lunatics, that you brought this one to behave as a madman in my presence? Will this man come into my house?" So that's an interesting tactic that David used in that particular situation. Hmm. I almost want to go into the next chapter now to see what happens, but I'm not going to. I'll wait until tomorrow. All right. Well, everyone have a good day. Thanks for listening, and I'll be around. Bye-bye.